The film opens as Tessa is shown waking up from a dream and packing her room to depart for college. In the kitchen downstairs, she is joined by her mother, Carol, and her mother-approved boyfriend, Noah. Her mother is making a list of stuff she believes Tessa will require. Tessa, taken aback by the lengthy list, tells her mother that she is only attending college and not a survival camp. If she forgets something, Noah offers he can drive up there and drop it off. The following scene depicts them traveling through various metropolitan locations till they arrive at her new university. Carol, Noah, and Tessa navigate the congested dorm corridors in search of her new room, B22. When they enter the door, they are greeted by loud music and two young females seated on the bed. Tessa introduces herself to Steph, her new flatmate who vapes. Tessa is introduced to Tristan by Steph. Steph expresses concern about having a freshman roommate. Tristan claims that even without a phony ID, they can get Tessa into all the nicest spots. Carol storms out of the room, demanding that they request a room change since the room stinks like cannabis. She doesn't want these females to take Tessa's attention away from her studies. Tessa tells her that she is responsible and that there will be no problem. She bids Noah and her mother farewell. Tessa gets out of her room early in the morning and walks across campus to her first class. Landon approaches her outside of a locked classroom. They are the very first to arrive. Soon after, a professor appears and unlocks the door for them. Tessa showers in her dorm later that day. Her damp clothing dropped on the ground as she was bathing. In her towel, she returns to her room and unlocks the wardrobe door. When she glances in the mirror, she is shocked to discover a boy seated behind her. Stuttering, she informs him that she believes he is in the wrong room. Trying to appear intelligent, the child informs her he is in fact in the proper spot as he hardly looks up from his book. When she asks how he came in, he shows her a set of keys. She requests that he go so she can dress, but he tells her not to deceive herself because he isn't even looking at her. Steph finally arrives and joins him on the bed. Tessa requests that her boyfriend leave the room, to which Steph responds that he is not her boyfriend and asks Boy what he had been saying to her to make her believe so. The child claims to have been minding his own business. Steph informs Tessa that she would be joining them for dinner that night, but Tessa is hesitant. The boy makes a nasty remark about not seeing her as the partying kind. Tessa declines to attend. Steph and the kid climb to their feet to go. Just as the youngster is ready to leave, he returns the book he was reading to Tessa. He adds The Great Gatsby is a fantastic novel, and he doesn't want to ruin it for her, but it was all a dream. Tessa corrects him, stating that it was all a lie. The boy smirks at her and walks out of the room. The next day, Tessa is seen studying in a university coffee shop. A trio enters and one of them is the impolite boy from her room the night before. Tessa makes a point of looking the youngster in the eyes as the group orders beverages. The boy also notices her and gives her a famous smile. They exchange a quick glance before he turns and walks out with his friends. Tessa goes to the library to do her homework. Steph interrupts her, telling her that they're going to a party that night. Steph assists Tessa in selecting her party attire. She decides on a maroon gown. They walk into the fraternity party. Steph immediately approaches Tristan in the kitchen and begins kissing her. They enter the living room, where a group of pals is sitting on the couch. Steph introduces Tessa to her circle of acquaintances. Zed, Jace the Townie, Molly, and the obnoxious Hardin are among them. Molly and Hardin are laying on the couch, stroking and kissing one another. Zed inquires about Tessa's majors, and Jace offers Tessa a drink, which she initially declines but accepts after Molly mocks her. Molly proposes that they play Truth or Dare. Tessa has no idea what is about to happen since she believes it is a children's game. Jace challenges Tessa to a Truth or Dare, and she picks the truth. Molly asks about the craziest spot she has ever done it with a guy. Tessa is visibly uncomfortable and requests to leave, but Molly notices. She starts by asking Tessa if she's a virgin. Tessa, too, does not want to answer, so she begs for a dare. Jace challenges Tessa to engage in romantic action with Hardin. Hardin gently rises from the couch and approaches her. Molly begins documenting the interaction on her phone since youngsters nowadays video everything. He kneels down and asks her whether she wants to go through with it. Tessa decides she's done playing the game and goes away, thinking about revalidation and peering into Hardin's eyes. Hardin is surprised, and the gang taunts him about this being his first rejection. Tessa misses Noah as she walks through the front porch and decides to phone and catch up with him. She tells Noah about her present location, which does not go well. Noah dislikes the idea that she is drinking and partying with other men. She hangs up the phone and returns inside. She climbs the stairs and begins reading one of the books on the bookcase. Hardin initiates the conversation by asking her what she is doing. She asks whether he is intoxicated, to which he responds that he does not drink like her. When he notices she has his book of Wuthering Heights, he recites a few lines from it. Hardin then asks, making her feel ashamed, what she is doing in his room. He snatches the book, slides it up her inner thigh, slightly lifting her dress, and leans against her. He inquires as to whether they are still playing because she owes him a dare. They almost kiss, but Tessa stops herself and walks away. In the next scene, Tessa enters a classroom and seeks for a seat. She notices Molly and Zed in the crowd and moves away from them. She comes up behind Landon and joins him. They are both thrilled to have been granted permission to take this upper-level English course. Hardin enters the classroom and takes a seat just as Professor Soto begins discussing the novel Pride and Prejudice. Tessa walks out of class after a heated dispute with Hardin over the novel, which is dismissed by their professor. Tessa joins Landon after class, who informs her that he and Hardin will soon become stepbrothers, as his mother is engaged to Hardin's father. Anyway, it doesn't take Hardin long to interrupt Landon and Tessa. Following the class argument, Hardin persuades Tessa to rekindle their relationship by inviting her to a nearby lake. Hardin kisses Tessa while they swim, suggesting that they can't just be friends. Later, in a diner, the two run across Molly and Zed. Tessa pledges to inform her boyfriend, Noah, about her kiss with Hardin the next day. Hardin urges her not to, stating that he does not date, which disappoints Tessa. Noah, on the other hand, appears out of nowhere and pays Tessa a surprise visit. They spend the evening together around a bonfire. Jace purposefully fails to kiss Tessa during a game of suck and blow at the campfire party, making Hardin furious and resulting to a violent conflict. After the party, Noah sleeps in Tessa's bed before leaving to check on Hardin, who has trashed the home in a drunken frenzy. She consoles him, and they kiss. Tessa goes to her hostel the next day to check on Noah, who finds her affair with Hardin and abandons her, distraught. Tessa, on the other hand, feels as though a burden has been removed and that she may freely date Hardin without feeling guilty about cheating on Noah. Tessa and Hardin ultimately decide to date, but her mother threatens to cut her off financially if the relationship continues, considering Hardin to be a negative influence on her. Hardin finds a place for the two of them to reside and they attend his father's wedding reception. When Hardin confesses that his mother was assaulted by several guys who were provoked by his intoxicated father, things take a terrible turn. Tessa consoles him, and the two return to their flat. Both end up getting laid after a minor mood shift. Tessa finally lets go of her virginity. Later, Tessa discovers some texts and becomes concerned about Molly's text conversations to Hardin. Tessa confronts him, but he rejects her and walks away. Tessa sees him in a diner with Molly, Zed, Steph, and Jace after leaving the apartment in pursuit of him. Molly ruthlessly discloses Hardin's actual motives by showing Tessa a video from their first party, informing her that Hardin just sought Tessa as a challenge, hoping to make her fall in love with him before destroying her heart. Hardin tries to persuade Tessa that his goals changed as he got to know her, but she rejects him. Tessa comes home, heartbroken, to reconcile with her mother and Noah, both of whom forgive her. Tessa cuts connections with Steph and her circle of friends in the weeks that follow, finally interviewing for an internship at Vance Publishing. Tessa's instructor, Professor Soto, presents her an essay written by Hardin before she leaves college at the conclusion of the semester. The essay was his declaration of love for Tessa. Tessa returns to the lake after reading it to meet Hardin. Here, this movie ends. To watch more awesome and thought-provoking movie recaps, don't forget to like this video and tell us in the comments which movie you want to see next. Goodbye for now.